Las Vegas, this is NAB Show Live, produced by Broadcast Beat.
I'm Brian Sethurst, and I'm reporting for NAB Live Show, and right now I'm standing inside the Advanced Advertising Pavilion with Lori H. Schwartz, who's the co-founder and chief technology catalyst at StoryTech.
That's right.
And Lori, the Advanced Advertising Theater, I'm looking at the sign and I'm looking at we have speakers behind us. This is brand new for NAB. Why did they build an Advanced Advertising Pavilion?
Well, there's a sea change going on in the broadcast ecosystem right now, and we're really starting to see broadcast and digital platforms, monetization, models around sponsorship and content and technology all really clash, collide, and merge. So having a theater, having a content play that tries to address all the issues that are bubbling up because the world is changing, the ad model is changing.
What are some of those issues? Because you hear about ad blocking, you hear about fast forwarding. So I think the statistic is it's like some 25% of young people have blocking ads on their phones.
Yep.
Besides that issue, what are some of the other issues that broadcasters and advertisers have to deal with now because of new technologies?
Well, it's really interesting. So there's a broadcast metaphor, right, of 30-second spots and of managing advertising in that pod structure. And then there's a digital ecosystem where you're using technology to programmatically send ads to people based on digital data. And what's happening right now is those two worlds are merging. So on the broadcast side, they're looking at digital solutions to figure out advertising. And on the digital side, they're looking at broadcast solutions to figure out advertising. So a lot of the conversations that have been in the pavilion over the last couple of days are, how does that impact storytelling? What is the tech that we should use? Where is the audience going? What are networks doing? Are they creating content for broadcast? Are they creating content for broadband? And so there's a real sort of merging and sort of exploring of these two worlds coming together right now.
It sounds like the Wild West.
It's totally the Wild West, and there's a lot of confusion about how to move forward. And as you know, Facebook made a whole bunch of announcements last week at F8 about allowing publishers to place content and articles directly in Facebook. And what that does is it takes traffic away from media sites and publishers who sold ads in that environment. So there's just a lot of disruption happening right now. And what a lot of people say is initially there'll be a lot of Facebook traffic and then it'll die down again. But brands and publishers need to kind of hang in there and not look at the current bottom line and sort of look at the long tail of what the model is. And I think that's true for broadcasters as well. With Netflix coming in and disrupting, again, this understanding of sponsorship, what does that mean? And you can't just throw the baby out with the bathwater. You have to play with different models right now.
So you mentioned data. Everybody talks about big data. How is that data used in delivering advertising or customizing? Or you mentioned programmatic, which as I understand it is the buying and selling actually of advertising in a market environment, but it's all automatic based on data. So can you talk a little bit about how data plays into this new advanced advertising?
Yeah, so most brands have a lot of data about who they're trying to reach. They literally know what their audience does and where they're doing it. And then you go to a publisher and they understand and know through data who their audience is and how they read and how they consume content. And so what's happening in these programmatic platforms is those data sets are coming together so that I, brand A, can come to publisher A and say, okay, I want to reach these people who are really interested in, say, drinking wine on the weekend. Where should I place my ad? And the two data sets come together and they're able to direct an ad to the right people down the funnel.
Does it also determine what the cost of that ad will be?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So if there's a high value audience and a high value placement, then the CPM will be higher. And so there's a lot of juggling right now about what the costs are for the different ad placements. And that's what all the controversy is about too, is am I really getting what I'm paying for? Is the data that says that ad played really true? Because there's a lot of bots, there's a lot of tech out there that's faking whether an ad was seen.
Ad fraud, essentially.
Ad fraud is a big issue right now in the online space. And so there's just a lot of things. The tech is great, and then the tech is also causing issues as well.
So you've actually put a speaker program together. StoryTech put a speaker program together here.
Yes.
And I've noticed you have some of the big heavyweights in the ad world. When you solicited their participation and you said, will you come to NAB? because people know NAB is like a technology conference for delivering broadcast. It's changing. I mean, they have a virtual reality and augmented reality pavilion. Now they have this. There's a lot of different things. But when you told them, will you come to NAB? What was the reaction that you got?
Oh, most of them are actually really excited about it because they all understand that these worlds are all coming together, and they know that a lot of their people are here now and a lot of new people are here now. And so the future of this whole world is partnerships, right? Is someone who used to be a vendor is actually now a strategic partner. And so whenever you come to a show like this, there's bound to be meetings that you can have and learning that you can have. And so they love to come and speak because inevitably there'll be partnerships that will come out of it, and also getting their message out about what they're doing is always important.
Yes, I've noticed that you've been, like, StoryTech has been tweeting like crazy. Yes. So I look at some of the messages that are being delivered, and who's ever doing your social media is excellent because they're boiled down so key. That's one of the reasons why we came over here. Tell me a little bit about StoryTech.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're a strategic consultancy, basically. We're like a boutique agency, and we work with brands, storytellers, and technology companies who want to understand how do they move through this complex ecosystem. And so it's not only about advertising, it's also about what does a storyteller do? Should I do something in VR? Should I do something in native advertising? Should I put my content on YouTube? Like, how do I move through this space, and who are the right partners? So it's all about crafting a content strategy about your product, your business, and then how to move through it. And so what we do is a lot of matchmaking. We're like professional menches. And we help people understand what should their cross-platform strategy be, who should they be working with, and what's going to happen in 6 months, in 3 years, in 5 years that they should be prepared for. Because a lot of these trends are so overwhelming and they're coming at you so fast that when you and your staff are knee-deep in just getting through your day, you can't look at all of this stuff. So a lot of what we do are briefings and trends, and we come in and we educate your company about what's going on, and we do that at these shows as well. We help create context around all of these trends.
It's interesting. The one thing I've noticed is that video and live video has exploded.
Absolutely.
Exploded. So storytellers, brands are like now storytellers and telling videos, and they're not, generally speaking, other than commercials, they're not content creators. So do you help these media companies become content creators?
Oh yeah, and a lot of what we're doing.
I'm sorry, these brands become media companies.
Well, and it's both ways, right? Brands are becoming media companies, and media companies are becoming brands. So that's what I mean is right now the roles in the ecosystem are all mushing together. But yes, we absolutely help them figure out what to do. So live streaming is a tactic and a strategy, and it's not right for everybody. And the reality is it's so new and it's so fresh. If I post something on Facebook Live right now, everyone's going to see it. But I guarantee you in a few weeks and months, I'm going to have to pay for that same response. So it's kind of like crack. You know, they want to get you addicted to live, and then they're going to change it up on you. Nothing's for free forever, right? So this world of live is very exciting and really important on the event space, but it's also challenging. How do you make sure that your brand is being represented appropriately in a live environment? So it's very new, it's very hot, and it's very interesting.
Oh my God, you're like a walking font of knowledge. So I've been with Lori H.
Like Helvetia?
I've been with Lori H. Schwartz from StoryTech. We're at the Advanced Advertising Pavilion, and this is Brian Seth Hurst reporting for NAB Show Live.